Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna wave like this. Hi, hello, hi. I have a little bit of a different video for you today. Basically, this drawer is about to fall out of my desk. Like, it is the heaviest drawer in my vanity, and I just have so many palettes that I don't use that I don't even know honestly what's in here. I can barely even close the drawer. So what we're gonna do today is go through this drawer, take a look at what's inside, declutter, hopefully get rid of a lot of stuff, and yeah, just live a better life in general. Obviously, there's not really much organization to this drawer right now. It was organized at some point, but of course, over time, that just goes away. I'm just gonna take you through like what is in the drawer, what the palette is, why I'm keeping it, or why I'm gonna be passing it on. I probably won't be throwing any of these away because they don't necessarily expire, so I'll probably pass them on, if anything, to a friend or a family member, something like that. Let's get started. I hope that I actually have some self-control and that I can actually get rid of some of these. So let's just dive right in. So the first one that you see right here, this is the Warrior palette by Juvia's Place. Looks like this. This palette's actually really gorgeous, and I just purchased it recently, like in the past 6 months. So I don't think I'm gonna pass this one on. It just has some really nice, like hello. I can't get rid of that. That's so beautiful. Just some really nice, perfect, like gold champagne neutrals, and then you have the neutral browns as well. This is one of my go-to palettes, so I don't think I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm definitely gonna keep it. Next we have my two Pat McGrath palettes. I have to keep these just because, like, how can I ever? I don't think I'll ever get rid of these, to be honest. These are absolutely gorgeous. This one is the Pat McGrath Mothership Sublime Bronze Ambition eyeshadow palette. I feel like these are honestly just like collector's items. Again, this is just a great neutral, golden, champagne, warm brown palette. Can never have too many of those, I guess. And then this one's the Mothership Sublime Bronze Temptation. I love this one. This was the one that I purchased most recently, and it's just nice because it's a little bit different. This color is like one of my favorites for a fun kind of duochrome, and then you have the warm browns again. So honestly, I don't think I'll ever get rid of these. They're just so special. Let's see if I can get rid of some palettes. I know that I want to get rid of this. So this is the BH Cosmetics and Carly Bible palette. I think this is the original one. I definitely did dip into this at one point. This one's definitely older, and I think I had carried it in my pro kit at some point. I don't reach for this at all. I don't think I ever will. I have so many more highlights that I really like to use. Although these are beautiful, I have something just like that in my collection, so I don't think I really need this. And as far as the eyeshadows go, they were never really my favorites. They're not very pigmented, so I think I'm definitely gonna pass this one on. So yay, let's put that in the pass on pile. So these two palettes are two of the Studio Makeup On The Go palettes. I received both of these in my BoxyCharms, and I think I'm only gonna keep one. This one is the cooler toned palette, and this one is the warmer tones. This one's called Warm Up, and this one is called Cool Down. Those are kind of cute names. Obviously, you could tell that I did use these palettes up. They're very dirty. Not that I use them up, but I use them a lot. I don't really wear cool toned anything, but I don't know. My go-to would be to keep this palette, but I feel like I have these colors in a ton of other palettes, so I don't necessarily know if I need this one in particular because I have these shades and other palettes that I really like. I think this is gonna go into like a maybe pile. I'm gonna wait until we get to the end to decide if I wanna keep this one. I think I'm gonna pass this one on. I never reach for it. I just don't really wear cool toned shadows, so I don't think I'm really gonna reach for this anymore. This is a palette, another one that I got in my BoxyCharm. You're gonna hear that a lot in this video about palettes that I got in my BoxyCharm. They do a pretty good job of including palettes in their boxes. This is the Winky Lux Kitten palette, and I'm pretty sure I never even touched this. I think I took it out of my BoxyCharm and put it right into this drawer. I'm not too sure what to do with this because I'm pretty sure I never used it, so I feel weird passing it on when I didn't even give it a shot, but I really don't see myself using these colors on a daily basis, so we're gonna pass this one on. This one, you had me at hello. This is from ColourPop. This one was actually a gift from my best friend, so I think I'm gonna keep it. It does have some cool colors in it, like these cool toned shades. I do really like this palette. It's pretty unique, and I love ColourPop shadows. And it has a mirror, so this is fabulous. Definitely gonna keep this one. Oh my god. This is so old. This is the Lorac Pro Contour Palette. Oh my gosh. I didn't even know this was in here, so we're definitely gonna pass this on. Pretty sure I had this in my Pro kit at some point. You could tell that there's a little dent in the yellow highlight and even the beige highlight, so this was definitely used pretty well at some point, but it's not gonna be used anymore, unfortunately. After we finish this video, I will clean this drawer. So this next palette, I'm obviously gonna keep because this is basically another collector's item. This is the Becca and Jaclyn Hill, what is this even called? Champagne Collection Face Palette. This is actually beautiful, and I just started reaching for this again recently because I love these blushes. This blush is so pretty. It's just a beautiful like golden peach, and this one's really pretty too. So I have started reaching for this again because I kind of forgot it was in here. Definitely have to keep this. Love this. Can't get rid of it. This is another BoxyCharm exclusive palette that they made with Pure Cosmetics. I think I might have used this once. It looks like this might have been used. This is a really pretty color. This is my problem. I don't do my makeup enough, I think, to actually get through all these palettes, so I don't even realize what's in here half the time. Like, that's actually really pretty. A really nice lid shade, but I didn't even know I had it. I don't see myself using any of these. I see myself using maybe like these three colors. So I think I might pass this on, even though it's kind of cool. Maybe I'll put it in the maybe pile. Next, we have another palette from Juvia's Place. This is the Nubian. I love this palette. You can see that it has definitely been well used so far. I think it's a gorgeous, warm, toned, golden palette. I don't think I'm going to pass this on quite yet because I still use it and I've had it for a year or two. So I really, really love this one. I love this rose gold shade. I love this really deep, like true gold and all the browns. Love this palette. This is another palette that I got in one of my BoxyCharms. It is the Pure Soiree Diaries. And I think I used this once. I think I'm going to pass it on. I feel like I just have all of these colors and other palettes, and I'm not a huge fan of pure shadows. Like, I'm not like amazed by them, so this one I'm definitely going to pass on. So this palette, I already knew before I started this video that I was going to pass it on. This is the ColourPop Golden State of Mind Shadow Palette. I thought I was really going to love it, but I literally never reached for this. Like, it's just not realistic. It's not really practical for me. I don't wear this much glitter on my eyes on a daily basis that I would be reaching for this a lot. Like, it is definitely cool. Maybe I'll put it in my like editorial collection for photo shoots because it is kind of cool with these duochromes, but that'll be in the maybe pile, I think, actually. Now we're on to another ColourPop palette. This is the I Think I Love You palette, and I think I love this one. No, I definitely love this palette. I think it is a great staple. You have I love this color for like a brow bone inner corner. That's one of my favorites. It has a really nice neutral brown and then a warmer brown, and you have a black, and you have all these nice lid shades. This palette's really cool. I definitely want to get more use out of this, so I don't think I'm going to pass it on yet. This was another palette that I got in a BoxyCharm. I told you you're going to hear that a lot. This is the Ace Beauty Grandiose palette, and this palette's actually really stunning, and I actually filmed a video on this one when I like did my BoxyCharm unboxing, and it was pretty beautiful, so I kind of want to play with it a couple more times before I pass it on, just so that I get some good use out of it, because these colors are really cool, and I feel like I could create a pretty fun look with this palette. I kind of want to wait until summer to see if I use it and then maybe pass it on, just because it is some like warmer summery shades. So I'm gonna keep this one for a little while longer. Let's move on to my well-loved Modern Renaissance palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Obviously, this is a little bit old, but it is very well-loved. Not passing this on ever because it is one of my like go-to palettes for sure. These palettes are absolutely gorgeous, and I honestly reach for my Anastasia palettes, I think, more than any others. So never gonna pass this on. I don't think. I love these neutral browns. I love that you get a little bit of color, a nice dark brown, and some pretty lid shades as well. So keeping this one. Okay, my bad there. We had to take a slight break because my camera died. So we're back. I have different clothes on now, so let's just ignore that. Anyways, let's continue on into the palette declutter. The next one, oh my god. This is could possibly be the oldest palette in this drawer. This is the original Naked palette that I have had. I know I had it in college, so I've probably had this for 6-7 years. Oh my god, wait. I've had this palette for almost 9 years. Is that scary? Sad? Is that okay? I'm keeping it. I don't know, I just feel like this was maybe like one of the first palettes that I ever really bought. Like this was one of the first palettes that ever really came out. Like this kind of stuff wasn't a thing. So I just feel like I can't get rid of this. Even though it's so old and so disgusting. It's like one of those sentimental things that I just don't know if I can get rid of yet. So we're gonna keep this one for now. Next we have, this is actually kind of a fun palette. I got this in a BoxyCharm as well. This is the Alamar Cosmetics Reina del Caribe eyeshadow palette, volume 1. Looks like this. This palette's very different. I definitely don't have anything else like this in my collection, so I think I'm going to keep it for now just to see if I could play with it a little bit more. I don't know, it's kind of cool, and I like the story behind this palette. One of the girls who works at BoxyCharm, she actually came out with her own cosmetics line and came out with this palette, and I don't know, it's just kind of cool. I like to support girl bosses, so even though this came in my BoxyCharm and I didn't even purchase it, I just still feel like I should keep it and maybe use it a little bit more before I decide to pass it on. So we're definitely going to keep this one because it's just kind of special. This is another ColourPop palette. This is the Give It To Me Straight palette. It looks like this. Super rosy, super pink and rose gold. This palette's actually really gorgeous, and I do still reach for it a lot and play with it, so I'm going to keep this one. I don't mind keeping these palettes because they are so small and compact and they're so affordable. I'd rather keep this than something that's a little bit bulkier that I just really don't reach for. These ones are a little bit easier to store, so I really do like these tones right here. These are some of my favorite kind of colors to wear, a lot of good neutrals. Really like this palette. This palette... So this is a confusing palette that I'm going to get rid of. This is the Ofra Pro like magnetic palette, and then all of these shadows in here are just the most random shadows that I've ever seen. This is a Juvia's Place bronze like kind of shadow that I think I just got for free at IMATS a couple years ago. Don't really use that. I don't use anything in this. I'm going to get rid of this. I might even throw these out because who's going to even want that? Goodbye. Next we have my Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette. Again, never gonna get rid of this. One of my favorite go-to palettes. It has everything you could possibly need. It's just so pretty. I don't need to get rid of this right now because I still use it at least once a week. It's one of my, like, if I'm looking for something, I usually grab this if I don't know what I'm gonna do. So, gonna keep this one. This was another BoxyCharm palette that literally never touched. Ever. I didn't even swatch it. These are so fun and cool. Oh, by the way, this is the Laura Lee Los Angeles Party Animal palette. Let's be honest, I am never gonna leave the house wearing something like this, but sometimes I just like to do my makeup at home where I'm not gonna leave the house with colors like this and then just wipe it off right after. So I kind of want to keep this just because, honestly, I kind of forgot it was here, and now looking at it, it's kind of like inspiring me a little bit, like this color. That's so cool. It's not looking like the most pigmented, but it has kind of like that cool duochrome. I kind of just want to play with this at least once and then maybe pass it on. And it's not too bulky, it's not going to take up a lot of space for the meantime, so I think I might hold on to it for a little bit longer, even though, who knows. This is another oldie, like one of my OG palettes. I've hit pan on some of the colors. I loved this palette. I remember using this palette all the time when I first started my Instagram page, and it was definitely a good palette at the time because there wasn't a lot of stuff like this, and these colors are very, very pigmented, but I couldn't tell you the last time I touched this. It just stays in here kind of like sentimentally, but I don't think I really need it anymore. And the other thing, like with the Naked palette, that one was discontinued, so I'm never going to be able to purchase that again. I'm pretty sure this is still available to purchase, so if I decided for some reason that I like really missed it, I could go buy it. But I don't think I'm going to miss it because a lot of these colors are in other palettes. I don't really see myself using anything in here, so I think we're going to pass this on. Maybe even throw it out because it is pretty old, like I said. This is another palette that I got in my BoxyCharm, and this was actually my most recent BoxyCharm, I believe. This is a Tarte palette. It is the Rainforest of the Sea Volume 3 eyeshadow palette. So in my video, actually, I did say to you guys that I was going to keep this for a little while, see if I was reaching for it, and then decide if I was going to pass it on, because realistically, I'm not going to reach for a palette like this, and I haven't, because there's no matte shades in this. So if I'm going to reach for this, it's literally just going to be for like a topper or like a lid shade. I just don't see myself doing that. Although these colors are really gorgeous and shimmery and beautiful, they're really like nothing super special, so I think I'm going to pass this one on. This is another OG, and this one I've actually hit pan on a lot. I haven't touched it in a really long time, but this is the Lorac Pro. This is like the original Lorac Pro palette. And this was one of my favorite palettes when I first started like my Instagram, and I just thought it was amazing. I thought it was one of the most amazing palettes I ever purchased because it had such a range of mattes and such a range of shimmers. You can create anything you wanted with this. You had warm tones, you had cool tones, everything. At the time, that was how I felt, but now I have a lot of these colors in other palettes. I really haven't used this in a while. It might be cool to keep, just maybe to do like a using my old makeup favorites video, because this was definitely one of my favorites. 4 colors in here I've hit pan on, so that's kind of impressive. The pots are obviously very small, but I think this is gonna be a maybe one. Or maybe like a just use for that video and then give it away. So, I don't know about this one right now. In the time that my camera was dead though, I did go through and clean the palettes that I've decided to keep, and I've cleaned the drawer a little bit too, so a little bit cleaner now. I have learned from this video that I do need to clean my personal kit a little bit more often. I'm always focusing on cleaning my professional kit because that's the one that I'm using on other people, and then I neglect my personal kit. So that's a lesson learned from this video. Next palette, this is another one that I believe I got in one of my BoxyCharms a while ago. This is in IB Beauty Highlight and Contour Palette. Looks like this. It's just a powder highlight and contour palette, basically. And I think I'm gonna pass this on. I feel like I have individual contours and highlights. I honestly forgot that this was in here, and I really don't reach for it. I think I'm gonna pass this on just because I have other products, and if I feel like I need a powder or contour, then I'll go buy one that I specifically want rather than having this kind of random one that I don't really use. So let's pass this one on. The next thing is this ColourPop palette. This is actually one of their like customizable palettes. So these are just 4 random shadows. I don't know if these are all ColourPop necessarily. I know these 2 definitely are, and they're why I bought this palette. And I'm actually going to keep these because this color is like really stunning. It's a nice cool toned kind of pinky shimmer. Same thing with this color. I don't reach for them too often, but it's just nice to have them in here. So I definitely want to keep these. Next we have my Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette, which I have to keep. This one is well loved and very dirty, but it's so beautiful. And even though I don't reach for it all the time, I have to keep it just because it has everything you could really ever need in this palette. These shadows are pretty good quality. You have some bright colors. I love this palette. I don't think I'm really ever going to get rid of it just because it has so many shades and it's so affordable that there's no reason to not keep this one. You know what I mean? Next we have, this is a Morphe Brushes palette, and it is the 9BZ. So this is actually another bronzer palette. I'm definitely going to pass this on. Next we have the Morphe 12Z palette. This palette I think I'm going to pass on. I don't ever use it. Lots of cool tones. Kind of a weird, like, creative editorial palette that I just don't see myself using. These colors are really pigmented and really beautiful, and I did use them a few times, but I just don't see myself really going for this, like reaching for this again, so I think I'm gonna pass it on. This palette I actually really love. This is another one I got in a BoxyCharm. It's from the brand Blink, and it's their Electric Eyes palette. These shadows are so gorgeous and so pigmented, and these are like all of my favorite colors, minus this one I don't think I've ever really touched, but all the other shades, even though they look very similar, they're all just so pigmented and they have such a nice sheen. I love this palette, and even though I didn't go out and like purchase it myself, I did get it in a BoxyCharm. It was one of the BoxyCharm palettes that I actually really liked and got a lot of use out of. So we're going to keep this one. I love that it's like nice and compact as well. Next we have another Lorac palette. This is the Lorac Pro 2. Yes. This one, I'm definitely going to pass on, I think. Although it does have some cool colors that I don't have in a lot of other palettes, like this jade color and like these cool grays. I don't really reach for this. I'm not a huge fan of Lorac shadows anymore. For a long time I was, but I just, I don't know. I'm not really like crazy about this. It doesn't really excite me anymore, so I think I'm going to pass this one on as well. Now this one, this is the deluxe edition of the BH Cosmetics and Carly Bible palette. And this one has some more shadows and some more highlights. So when I was thinking about making this video, I was thinking that I would probably keep this palette and pass on the smaller, older Carly Bible palette. So these are the 2 palettes side by side. They're pretty similar just from like far away. The highlights are definitely similar as well. So I think I'm going to keep the bigger one just because it does have more options if I did decide to go for this palette and this type of like color story. I figured since I have both, it's better to just keep one. So I think I'm going to hold on to this one. Alright, next we have a Morphe palette. This is the 25B. This palette's actually really beautiful. Although it doesn't have that many shimmers and it's primarily matte, it is pretty nice. I like that you have a good range of like cool and warm tones. I think I'm going to keep this one. This one was a more recent purchase. I think I purchased it definitely in the last year, so I want to play with it a little bit more. I love that color. Love the browns. I definitely need to like put this in the front of the drawer just so I know like to play with it a little bit more because it is really pretty. We have another Morphe palette. This is the 35OS. So I know Morphe came out with, they have the 35O, which is like super popular, but then they also came out with the 35OS and the 35OM, and I have both of those. So this is another very warm all shimmer palette. I definitely used this a lot, maybe like a year or two ago. I was really into this. And it is really pretty, and I kind of forgot that I had it. It kind of has like anything that you could think of. You have your golds, your champagnes, your pinks, your bronzy colors, your coppers. Kind of want to play with this a little bit more because it is really pretty, and this is the color story that I really go for a lot. I love warm tones. So I might keep this for another season and see if I choose to play with it a little bit more or not. Obviously, like, I have so many palettes with these shades, but I don't know, this is just kind of like making me want to create a look right now, so I kind of want to keep it. There's like so many palettes in this drawer. This is insane. Okay, this was a more recent purchase. I'm going to keep this one because I really haven't even played with it that much. This is the Morphe and James Charles palette. These editorial colors are just so cool, and I really need to play around with them a lot more. I want to use this yellow. I need to use this. I just have been feeling like too safe lately, and I haven't been wanting to like experiment too much, but I need to. This is like the next, I'm gonna do a video using this palette, okay? I'm gonna do it because I need to use this. So, yes, keep an eye out for that. We're gonna do something fun with these bright colors. I'm obviously gonna keep this one. This was a staple for 2018. This is the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. This is one of like was this even 2018? This might have been a 2017 purchase. I don't remember. But anyways, I love this palette. I think it's so pretty and so cool and just so different. Like, I really didn't like Urban Decay for a long time because I felt like all their palettes, they were just coming out with their naked palettes and then like some other random palettes, and I just wasn't getting like any sparks from anything. And then I saw this and really loved it, and I created a lot of looks with this, so I definitely want to keep it, play with it a little bit more. I think it's just like a staple kind of fun palette, so I'm definitely gonna keep this. We have a Tarte Rainforest of the Sea palette, volume 2. This is another one that I got in a BoxyCharm, but I actually really love this one. I'm gonna keep this one because I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a great travel palette because it has everything that you could need. I set my base with this. I put this on my lid, in my crease I put these colors, and then this on the inner corner. So it has everything I need for like a basic eyeshadow look. And these shadows are actually really pigmented, and I feel like they last really, really long. Something about this formula, because it's like that clay Tarte formula, you know, they're just very long lasting, and oh, I can't open it. And yeah, so I really like this. I don't really reach for these two colors, but I mean, out of 8 shades, if I'm not reaching for 2, I'm not mad about it. So I'm definitely gonna keep this one. So these two palettes are customizable, and I created them when I worked at Kiko years ago. So they're both full. And they're both really pretty, but I don't reach for these because, well, now especially with YouTube, like, you can't go out and buy these because I think they all closed in the United States or something, so I'm not going to be recommending these. I loved these when I did work at Kiko. Like, they wanted you to wear Kiko shadows, so I always reached for these, and I thought they were beautiful. I think I'm going to pass these on, maybe, see if my mom wants some, because she really likes the Kiko brand, but I don't think I'm going to keep these ones. And although it's nice that the shadows are very large, this packaging is very bulky and takes up a lot of room. So this is going to clear up like a ton of space in this drawer by just getting rid of these two palettes. Oh my gosh, more Morphe. I did not realize that I had this many Morphe palettes. This is the 35OM, the one that I was talking about before. It's all the warm matte shades. You have the oranges, you have warm browns. Really cool palette. Kind of want to play with it a little bit more. I obviously haven't hit pan or anything, so I haven't played with it enough. And yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of like a good staple to keep in your collection for any type of brown that you would ever need, you know. Another Morphe palette. This is the 35W. This might have actually been the first Morphe palette that I ever purchased. I don't think I'm going to keep this one. To me, it's a little weird. I don't really like the color story in it anymore. I don't think I'm going to reach for it. I think I have all of these colors in other palettes, so I think I am going to pass this one on. Honestly, what's throwing me off is just this random bright pink in the middle of the palette. Like, I don't really get it. So I think I'm gonna pass this one on. I have so many other Morphe palettes, I don't really need this one specifically. So now we have these little tiny palettes. This one is the Really Dirty Naked Basics palette. This is also a very old one. I was thinking about this when I was like thinking about filming this video, if I wanted to keep this palette. Now that I'm looking at it, I kind of want to, just because brands don't make anything like this anymore. An actual basic matte palette with just the essentials that you would need to create a look. I kind of want to keep this. I don't know. It's an older palette. It's a little bit sentimental. I do remember creating pretty nice looks with this, so I kind of want to maybe play with it a little bit more. This is the Mini Lorac Pro palette that is broken, and that's going in the trash. Okay, fabulous. That was easy. Next we have another palette from EB or IB Beauty. This was another BoxyCharm one, and I actually really like this one. Literally, obviously it has only 3 shadows in it, but if I just am doing like a one night out, like I'm packing a bag for one night and I just want a quick look to create, put this in my crease, this on my lid, and this in my inner corner and brow bone, and literally I'm done. And these are really nice shadows. They're very pigmented, really beautiful. I think I'm gonna keep this one. I love how compact it is. I like it. It's really cute. This is a pretty old palette. I actually remember buying this. I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and I don't use it, and I'm not gonna use it. By the way, it's a Smashbox Shape Matters palette. I thought it was cool because it has eyebrow stuff, face stuff, and eyeshadow, which is nice for somebody who doesn't really play with makeup a lot and just wants one compact palette. But I don't think I use it. I'm gonna use this. These aren't colors for me. Those are too light. These aren't like groundbreaking, and this color story I just don't really vibe with. So I think I'm gonna pass this on. Actually, I think my mom or like maybe my aunt might like this because it is so compact and everything's in one place. So I think I might pass it on to somebody. This is another old one. This is the Balm Cosmetics Balm Voyage palette. Very interesting. I remember playing with this a lot when I first bought it, and I thought it was really cool. Had a lot of fun colors, but I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use these lip colors. I don't think I've ever even touched them. I'm definitely going to pass this one on. Honestly, oh, that smells like... I might have to throw this out actually because these definitely reek, and those have definitely expired, so I think I'm actually going to throw this one out even though I haven't hit pan. I don't know. I just feel like I shouldn't pass this on to somebody because that's kind of nasty. I put everything back in the drawer that I'm keeping. The last thing that was in here was this MAC thing that I bought a very long time ago. It only has 2 more of the pigments left in here. So what I'm going to do is take the pigments out because this is the most wasteful, bulky packaging that has ever existed. So we're going to get rid of that. But I think we're going to keep these pigments. I have the rest of the pigments somewhere else in my vanity. So I'm going to go find those and put these shadows with those pigments because that just makes more sense. So these are some of the palettes that were maybes, and I have decided to keep most of them. I'm going to keep this pure one just because I didn't really get to play with it and it looks kind of fun, so I'm going to keep that. I'm just going to put it back there. The Studio Makeup one I'm not going to keep because now looking through all of my palettes, I realize that I have every single one of these colors in other palettes and I don't really need this one. Even though it is a nice travel palette, it's nice and compact, I think I'm going to pass it on just because I feel like I don't need it. The Lorac palette, I'm just going to keep because it's sentimental and I think it's nice to keep those types of things. And then the Golden State of Mind palette, although I want to get rid of this, I also kind of want to keep it just because it's different. I don't have anything else like this in my collection and I feel like, who knows, one day I might need to reach for something like this. So we're going to keep this one for a little bit longer. Look at, isn't this amazing? Guys, this drawer I literally couldn't even close, and now it's like lightweight, it's organized, it's so nice. I put all the larger palettes in the back here, and then I organized all these palettes kind of by size. This makes me so happy. Like, I'm so much more excited to look into this drawer and grab a palette. Before, I was just very overwhelmed. I didn't even know really what I had. Now I got a clear view of what I have. Everything's laid out nicely. I'm very happy with that. And I am so happy with how much I'm getting rid of. I have this whole pile. Let's see how many palettes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All these as well. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 palettes that I am passing on, throwing out. I don't know. They're not in this drawer anymore, and that makes me extremely happy. I had so much fun filming this video. You're not going to see my face in this video because it's just kind of pointless. That's not the point. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this kind of video, I have way too much of everything else in my collection as well, so I kind of want to do a series where, like a decluttering series. I want to do brows and mascara and lipsticks. Oh my god, I desperately need to do a lipstick declutter as well as a blush, bronzer, and highlight declutter. So let me know if you want to see that kind of stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!